Good evening and welcome to the Township of Clark Council meeting. It is Monday, March 17th, 7:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff. Here. Councilmember Hund.
Here.
Councilmember Mazzarella.
Here.
Councilmembers Minetti and O'Connor are absent. Councilmember Toll.
Here.
Council President Smith.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, as adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing the annual schedule of meetings to the Star Ledger, Union County Hawk, Union County Local Source, and Tappan to Clark, by posting such annual meeting schedule on the bulletin board in Town Hall reserved for such announcements, the official website of the Township, and the proper filing of said notice. Formal action may be taken at this meeting.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to suspend regular order of business?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Thank you, Councilman Hund. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, we're going to move to Police Department promotions. Captain Akabu, and Mayor Albanese, and Captain Lott.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Tonight, it's a pleasure to be here with the families and friends of our two officers who are getting promoted. And actually, I'm going to have Captain Mike Akabu talk about our candidates, if you would, or however you want to do it.
Yeah, I'll go first.
And, okay. Excellent. Very good.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor Angel Albanese, Business Administrator Jim Ulrich, Council President Bill Smith, council members, Township Clerk Edith Merkel, distinguished guests, family, friends, and community members. I would like to welcome you all to the John Lazer Memorial Courtroom and to our promotional ceremony. My name is Mike Akabu. For those of you that do not know me, I'm the commanding officer of the Patrol Division. But before we begin, I would like to take a moment of silence for the fallen Newark Police Detective, Joseph Ascona, who is only 26 years old. Detective Ascona was shot and killed on March 7th. His funeral was this past Friday. May he rest in peace. All right, thank you. Also, before we begin, I'd like to introduce Lieutenant Sophia Santos of the Union County Prosecutor's Office. She's here with us. It's an honor to stand before you today as we recognize and celebrate an important milestone in the careers of Sergeant Andrew Medeiros and Detective Sergeant Michael Ciaccio. Today, we officially mark their promotion into the rank of Sergeant and Detective Sergeant, a position that carries not only greater responsibility, but also trust and confidence of their peers, leaders, and community they serve. Stepping into the role of a sergeant means not only leading by example, not only leading by example, but also guiding and mentoring others, fostering teamwork, ensuring the values of justice, fairness, and accountability remain at the core of everything that they do. And most importantly, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to all the family members present here tonight. Your support and sacrifices are the bedrock upon which our officers stand strong. We understand the unique challenges that come with supporting law enforcement professionals, and your unwavering encouraging is invaluable. So I'd like to call on Sergeant Andrew Medeiros. You could bring your family up as well. So, you could come right here. Sergeant Andrew Medeiros graduated from Rider University in 2009 with a bachelor's degree in finance. In 2013, he graduated from the State of New Jersey Police Training Commission in Somerset County. Sergeant Medeiros was hired by the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office, where he served from June 2013 until March 2015. In April 2015, Sergeant Medeiros was hired by the Clark Police Department, where he was assigned to the Patrol Division. In 2018, Sergeant Medeiros was detailed to the Union County Prosecutor's Office as a detective with the Homicide Task Force until 2019. Sergeant Medeiros returned back to the Patrol Division for about 1 year until 2021. Sergeant Medeiros was then appointed as a traffic detective with the Clark Police Department's Traffic Bureau from 2021 until 2024. During the course of his service, Sergeant Medeiros is the recipient of the Honorable Service Award in 2015, a Life Saving Award in 2018, and a Platoon Award in 2023. Sergeant Medeiros is a certified traffic safety specialist, among other traffic specialty certifications. He attended the New Jersey State Police 26th Annual Advanced Homicide Investigations course and Federal Bureau Investigations and Crisis Negotiation. Congratulations, Sergeant Medeiros. We are proud of you, and we look forward to the positive impact you will continue to make in this new chapter of your career. Congratulations. Who's going to hold the Bible?
Okay. Repeat after me.
I,
State your name.
Andrew Medeiros,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully
impartially, and
Impartially.
justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of
all the duties of the office of
Police Sergeant,
Police Sergeant,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
for the Township of Clark, so help me God.
for the Township of Clark, so help me God.
So,
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
yes.
You want to do your family first?
Yeah, let's go in the front.
Yeah.
Go in the front.
Good evening. I'd like to invite Detective Sergeant Michael Ciaccio and his family up. So it's my pleasure to swear in Detective Sergeant Ciaccio tonight. He was a Marine Corps veteran who served in the United States Marine Corps from 2005 and until 2009. He was deployed to Iraq between 2005 and 2007, and he was part of the Anbar Awakening action in Al Anbar province. After he came back from the Marine Corps, he enrolled in the John Jay Criminal Justice College, and he graduated in 2010 with a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. After that, he went on to further his education at Fairleigh Dickinson, where he graduated with a master's degree in 2012. Sergeant Ciaccio got his start in law enforcement when he was hired by the Middlesex County Sheriff's Office in 2013, and we were lucky to have him transfer over here in 2015, where he was assigned to the Patrol Division. He served in the Patrol Division for 3 years and then came over into the Detective Bureau with then Captain Grady, and he was in the Detective Bureau from 2018 into 2021, when he was promoted to sergeant and moved back out into the Patrol Division and assigned to a night shift. Sergeant Chaccio came back into the Detective Bureau a few weeks ago. He's been doing a very good job since he has been back. And in the course of his service here at Clark PD, he's been the recipient of 2 platoon awards. So again, it's my pleasure to congratulate Sergeant Chaccio on his promotion to the position of Detective Sergeant, and Mayor Albanese will now swear him in officially.
Okay, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Michael Chaccio,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully
impartially, and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of Detective Sergeant,
all the duties of the office of Detective Sergeant,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
for the Township of Clark, so help me God.
for the Township of Clark, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. Thanks, guys. Okay, so do you want to get that pinned on? Yeah. Do you want to put it on?
Can you do it with the baby?
Want me to hold the baby? No? Babies like me.
Try and hold that one, she bites.
Really? Yes. Let's go up here. Yes, I just want to congratulate both Andrew and Michael. What's very impressive is the way that they achieved all that they did. First of all, being veterans, and then immediately going on to not only getting a bachelor's degree, but advancing their education so far. So I wish them the best of luck. Enjoy it, enjoy the time, and stay safe. Thank you very much.
We're going to take a 2-minute recess if anybody would like to leave at this time. And again, congratulations to Sergeant Menderos and Detective Sergeant Chaccio. Okay, at this time, I'd like a motion to resume regular order of business. Moved. Councilman Mazzarella, thank you. Second by Councilman Toll. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, now we're going to move to communications from the mayor and reports of township officers. Mayor Albanese.
Thank you, Mr. President. First thing I want to mention is that at our workshop meeting, we talked about a project that was brought to my attention regarding our veterans. Bill Duffy, former police captain here in Clark for many years, contacted me and spoke to me about the fact that we have monuments in front of the high school that where we have our ceremony each year on Memorial Day to honor our fallen heroes. And there are 5 individuals who served and died for us, for our freedom, for our rights. And we'd like to, or what he proposed was that we try to put some monuments in. We discussed this at the council meeting, and we went ahead and sent out some information to the public, and we've been getting donations in quite rapidly, and we are hoping that we can reach our target. We're about 1/3 there at this point. If we can reach it by April 1st, then we can complete the monuments for the Memorial Day celebration this year. If you're interested, you can either drop off a check or cash at Town Hall, or you can pay by credit card. There's information on our website. If you scroll down the front page, you'll see the information of where you can donate. And really, any donation, small or large, all are appreciated. And we're really excited about completing this program. And also, Bill has in mind a book that he would put together, and he explains, and there's a video about it. He was an officer, and he went on a tour of duty, and he saw a street named Joseph Street, and it had a gold star on it. And he asked the officer, what was that all about? And they said, well, that means that person was a veteran. And at that point, we didn't have all the streets named after our veterans. And Bill cited so much information and explains that what he did to find out, no one had information about all the veterans that had died. He went to the Elizabeth Library, went into the microfiche, and started from the beginning of World War II to the end. And he said he just spent days and days, and he really just fell in love with the task. And he's actually done this in 10 other towns in New Jersey where they've built monuments. So I just wanted to mention that point if you're interested. And obviously, no matter what, we'd like to see you at the Memorial Day Parade. It's coming up. And it's a great time to remember those who did fight for us and gave everything, their lives. Women's History Month. There's a couple of things that I thought about talking about, but just one that sticks out in my mind was the right for women to vote. I was going to do a little quiz. Was it 1869? Was it 1840? Was it 1920? Actually, the women got the right to vote in 1920, but the movement actually started in 1840. And there was a particular woman named Alice Paul who was from New Jersey, and her mother was a suffragette, who fought for women's rights. And obviously, Alice fell in line with her mother's ideas and fought very hard for that. And ultimately, Alice Paul was, as I said, from New Jersey. She was born in Mount Laurel in 1885. And in 1920, the United States Constitution was changed by the 19th Amendment, and women were given the right to vote. And there is a movie on HBO Max, which came out in 2015, which is very good if you're interested in the topic and history. It's called Iron-Jawed Angels, and there's some famous actresses in it. And if you're interested, you can check that out. The other thing that I thought about in speaking on this is women from Clark that impressed me quite a bit. And one of them was Sister Donna Marie O'Brien. And recently, I was at the gala that St. John the Apostle Church had, and they honored her. It's their 75th anniversary this year. And what was interesting was her path in life was education. and she became a principal at the school and was there for 34 years. And it was just, I guess, fate or luck, because normally an individual would not be a principal for that long a period. So she was there for 34 years, but she really did an amazing job in uniting everyone and in the community, and also all the students and families that in that community. She's really remarkable, and I think a very strong woman. And we had the pleasure of having her give the introduction and the benediction at our swearing in on 2 occasions, and then she retired. She's still working. It's amazing. I don't even know how old she is, but she hasn't changed one bit. She's got as much energy as ever, and I really wanted to acknowledge her as being one of the greatest women in Clark, I would say in the past 100 years at least, and we'll see if Brian agrees with that later when he speaks. And as far as other things that are happening, just want to mention, we had an incident in town, and not monumental, but, you know, when things occur, what we'd like citizens to do, if you could call the police first. What we see is a trend of people will post things on Facebook, and then maybe 20 minutes later call the police. And really, it doesn't help the situation. So if you see something, really, just say something and contact the police, and we can take some action. And you'll see, we're going to be doing some other things, some other safety ordinance that'll be issued tonight, and we'll discuss that at that time. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Albanese. Council Member Hough.
Thank you very much. As the liaison to the library, I have a few updates from the library. They wanted me to pass on that they had a total of 8,075 visitors for the month of March and recorded 6,156 website views. We had a great tour of there last week, or 2 weeks ago, and I continue to just be amazed at all of the things the library offers. So coming up, they have a Friends of the Library costume and jewelry sale, book sale, and puzzle sale on April 5th. There's the Great American Songbook with the Florian Chance Jazz Combo and adult event on Tuesday, April 8th. They have Hope's Promise with a therapy horse for all ages the week of spring break, Monday, April 14th at 3 p.m. And they have a family night, movie night, that's occurring on Thursday, April 17th at 6:30 p.m. And finally, the Vinyl Revival in April on the 28th at 7 p.m. So you can go onto the website and see all the information that they have about it. And that's all I have on the library. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Member Hund.
Thank you, Council President. I have the February 2025 police report for the police department, obviously. We saw a total of 1,633 calls for service, including but not limited to 88 for ambulance requests, 68 alarm calls, 2 for burglaries, 3 for fire department requests, 2 fraudulent identity theft, 8 motor vehicle and residential lockouts, 67 motor vehicle accidents, 16 shoplifting and theft, and 1,250 911 calls. There was a total of 7 adult arrests, including but not limited to 5 for shoplifting and 2 for warrants. The Youth Aid Bureau handled a total of 15 cases, including but not limited to 1 for burglary, 2 for shoplifting, 5 for offenses against the family, 2 for truancy, and 3 for other offenses. And as the mayor mentioned before, with regards to situations that occur in town, we'd ask if you would call the police department when you pick up your phone, instead of going on Facebook first and then calling the police department. It would be very helpful with issues that may occur in town. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Council Member Mazzarella.
Yes, thank you, Council President. This is my DPW report for this evening. Electronic drop-off will be March 29th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the DPW facility behind this building. ID will be required, so please, if you have any items, make a note of bringing them.
Spring cleanup begins next week, March 24th through April 28th. You can now start to put your debris out for spring cleanup. However, please try to leave about a 1-foot distance from the edge of the debris to the curb line. This will ensure that if there is a big rain event, that debris will not go into catch basins and clog them. So please remember that. And to schedule any DPW services, go to www.ourclark.com and click on the tab for online services. They will navigate you through tree permits, bulky and appliance pickups, tree trimming, tree removal permits, mulch deliveries, and et cetera. But please go on that site. It'll give you a whole listing of that. And please let our DPW forces know beforehand what items you have for appliance and metal pickup, because there are different vehicles that will pick that material up. Bulky and appliance pickup appointments are required for those, and please remember to do that the Thursday before your scheduled pickup week. Mulch deliveries will start on March 28th. A small load is approximately 2 to 3 yards. A large load is approximately 5 to 6 yards. It's free of charge, so schedule that, and we'll be happy, our DPW forces will be happy to deliver it. And if you need any more information, please don't hesitate to contact dpw@ourclark.com for more information. Thank you. That's the extent of my report.
Thank you. I'm going to go back to Councilmember Hunt to do the fire department report.
I apologize. Reading the report for Councilman Minetti, who's not here tonight. So in February, the Clark Fire Department responded to 34 calls, bringing the total for the year to 75. Key incidents included multiple odor and alarm-related calls, 5 motor vehicle incidents, including one on the Garden State Parkway, where CFD assisted Cranford with the extraction of an occupant, 1 call regarding a downed wire from a fallen branch, 1 call for smoking light pole. Both calls were with assistance from PSCNG, and 1 call for a flooded basement on Lexington Boulevard. We'd like to extend his gratitude to the dedicated members of the Clark Fire Department for their continued hard work in keeping our town safe. The full fire department report is available in the clerk's office, and that concludes Councilman Minetti's report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Toll.
Thank you, Mr. President. From the Clark Environmental Commission, this Wednesday, the 19th of March, the Environmental Commission will have a meeting in Room 30, also known as the History Room, in the Brewer Municipal Complex. We ask you, it's open to the public, for the members, to come out and have a vigorous discussion on Mother Nature and what we can do to help it by basically living in its world. So we thank you, Mr. President. That's all I've got for tonight, and we'll see you hopefully at the Environmental Commission this Wednesday at 7:30 in Brewer Room 30. Bye.
Thank you. From the Pool and Recreation Report. Programs for the spring and summer classes are available online at ourclark.com under the Community and Recreation tab. Sign up as soon as possible so classes do not have to be canceled for low enrollment. The summer rec camp registration and Clark Community Pool applications are also now available online and in person. The summer rec camp does fill up quickly, so we ask that you do register as soon as possible. On Thursday, March 20th, which is this week, the New Jersey Devils are hosting the Clark Family Night at the Prudential Center in Newark. You can register on the Devils website to acquire seats in the Clark section. Looking ahead, we have the annual Easter egg hunt, which will be held on Saturday, April 12th from 12 to 2 at the Rec Center. And also the Clark Little League and Clark Girls Softball Parade will be held on Saturday, April 6th at 9 a.m. And the Memorial Day Parade obviously will be on Monday, May 26th at 9 a.m. And if you have any questions on any of these events, you can stop in the rec office and contact Ralph Bernardo or Emily Lambert. And the phone number is 732-428-8400. Okay, that's the end of our reports. At this time, we will move on to ordinances, appropriations, and claims. Public hearing on proposed ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the record, no objections have been received in connection with the proposed ordinances. First ordinance is 25-04, an ordinance amending Chapter 114 entitled Certificate of Compliance.
Okay, at this time, I will open up the meeting to the public on this ordinance only. If anyone would like to come forward, please do so on this ordinance. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Thank you, Councilman Hun. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, at this time, I'd like a motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Can I get a second?
Second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Jim, you have anything to add?
Again, we've discussed this at our executive sessions in our last public meeting. This is just to change the the title from Certificate of Compliance, which is a defined term within the DCA, to Certificate of Resale whenever someone's doing an inspection on selling a building.
Great, thank you. Anyone else have any questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff. Yes. Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Here. Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Next ordinance is 25-05, an ordinance amending Section 2 of Chapter 122 entitled Fees.
Okay, at this time, I will open up the meeting to a public hearing for this ordinance and this ordinance only. If anyone would like to come forward, please do so. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, can I get a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Can I get a second?
Second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hun. Jim, you have anything to add for this?
Yeah, I'll address 2 and 3 at the same time, and as we discussed, this is just to break out the fees associated with construction and zoning into the 2 respective sections. 122 is going to include all the construction fees, and the next item, number 3, 25-06, would be breaking out all of the zoning-related fees. So it used to be all part of one fee schedule. We broke them out and put them in the respective sections of our ordinances.
Great, thank you. Anyone else have any questions or discussion? Hey, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Number 3 is ordinance 25-06, an ordinance to amend Section 38 entitled Interpretation of Zoning Provisions, Administrative Officer, and Section 51 entitled Fees Established of Chapter 195 entitled Land Use and Development of the Code of the Township of Clark.
Okay, at this time, I will open up the public hearing on this ordinance and this ordinance only. If anyone would like to come forward, please do so. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, at this time, I need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Jim already explained it. Does anyone else have any questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Next is ordinance 25-07, an ordinance to adjust civil service ranking of job title of Public Works Repairer.
Okay, at this time, I'll open up the public hearing on this ordinance. If anyone would like to come forward, please do so. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilman Hun. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, at this time, I needed a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Yes, I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Jim, you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, this is just, adding the title to be consistent with the civil service titles. This was already discussed with the Blue Collar Union, who is 100% in favor of the change.
Great, thank you. Anyone else have any questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Number 5 is 25-08, an ordinance to create the position custodial worker and to fix minimum and maximum salaries.
Okay, at this time, I will open up the meeting for the public hearing on this ordinance. If anyone would like to come forward, please do so. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing.
Move that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Could I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I need a motion to adopt the ordinance. Anybody?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Any discussion? Jim, you have anything to add?
As we discussed, we formerly had an outsourced company doing this. We're bringing someone in-house, and this is to set up, well, we brought someone in-house already, but this is to establish her title.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or discussion on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted.
Okay, we're going to move to introduction of proposed ordinances.
First ordinance for introduction is 25-09, an ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 347, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, adding Article 11, Motorized Bicycles and Scooters, Section 347-65, Motorized Bicycles and Scooters of the Code of the Township of Clark.
Can I get a motion?
Yes, I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Thank you, Councilman Hund. Any discussion? Jim, you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, so this has been a request for a little while, more than a few months. Just the people who are riding the motorized scooters around town. It primarily breaks it out into a couple of things, low-speed motorized vehicles, high-speed motorized vehicles, and which one, the high-speed motorized vehicles require a license, registration, insurance, a bunch of things that the low-speed do not. That the operators have the same rights and duties as the motor vehicle drivers, again, consistent with New Jersey State Law Title 39. And that the New Jersey law takes precedence in the case of conflicts with this ordinance. Primarily, it's going to regulate dangerous operation, what's required equipment, reckless operation, helmet requirements, keep right in single file, sticker requirements, and this came up in our executive meeting. Sticker requirements is not an inspection sticker, it's actually the specifics on the vehicle that comes from the manufacturer. Obviously, no sidewalk riding and no carrying of articles. There's also some parking restrictions in there. However, the key is that it is prohibited riding areas, Township of Clark property and Board of Education property. We're also working with the major property owners within the township to get their approval to enforce this on their property. And then there's a fine with mandatory court appearance. I think I got it all. Did I get it all, Captain? Yeah. So that's, overall, what it says for the public.
Great. Before I get to Mayor
I was just
Albanese.
going to sum it up. I mean, this is all about safety for citizens walking on the street and for those riding these vehicles. So we've seen, as James mentioned, incidences where there's been concern, where there's a lot of people around, especially on the lots of the school, township property. So we're being transparent. We want everyone to know about what's happening. So please take note if you have family members, grandchildren, friends who are on these scooters, take a look at the rules so you understand them. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes, I'd just like to add that this only encompasses township-owned properties and township roads, correct, Jim?
Currently, yes.
Yes, it does
like I
not
said,
include any county properties or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, right, we don't have county properties on this, yeah.
Right.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
And we are working with the private property owners, like I said, but we got to get an agreement with them to be able to enforce it within, if Clark Commons wants it, if the Target wants it, if, Starbucks, Hackensack Meridian, et cetera, if they want to. So we're going to go to them and, they would have to authorize us to enforce it within their property.
I guess this would be a question for the benefit of the residents for, I guess, Captain Lott or Akabu. Is there any prohibition of writing this for any age limitations on it, like children?
Captain Lott, you want to come up to the microphone? Thank you.
So everything for age limitations goes back to Title 39. So anything that's a low-speed vehicle is treated the same as a bicycle. So the low-speed vehicles have no age restriction because essentially it's a bicycle, right? What differentiates what you need a license for is when it moves into a high-speed vehicle. If it's a high-speed vehicle, then it's governed by the laws for licensing under 310, and there's a couple different sections there. So if you're under, or if you're 15, you can get a moped license, right? So if you don't have a regular driver's license, you need a moped license to operate one that is defined as a high-speed vehicle, because essentially it's an electric moped. So you would need either a moped license or a driver's license. If you have a driver's license, you do not need a moped license. You could operate that at any time. So basically, to operate one of the higher speed ones, you would need to be 15, eligible to get a moped license, and have a moped license or a driver's license. But anything that's low speed, the scooters, things like that, those fall back to the bicycle rules.
I'm sorry, what was
They fall back to the Title 39 bicycle rules.
Okay.
Yeah, they're essentially a bicycle. If it has pedals, it's a bicycle. Is the best way to think about it is the ones that are high speed don't have pedals, right? The ones that are low speed, those are the class 1 and 2, right? Those have pedals, and then you have the scooters, which are easily differentiable from those. But the class 1 and 2s will have pedals on there. So if you see pedals, it functions like a bicycle.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Captain
all I
Lott. Anyone else have anything? Okay, a roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff,
Yes.
Hund,
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance will be April 21st. Next ordinance is 25-10, an ordinance to amend Chapter 117 entitled Clothing Donation Bins, Section 117-7, Limitations on the Locations and Numbers of Clothing Bins of the Code of the Township of Clark.
I get a motion?
Move that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hunk. I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Any discussion?
Yeah, this was a request of, some of the council members to permit clothing bin donations for veterans organizations. The only exception would be that it's a veterans organization. They still have to comply with all of the other requirements of cleanliness, periodic pickups, what they can take and what they cannot take. And, so everything else is the same. The only exception is to add the 2 veteran organizations, the American Legion and the VFW. But again, they still need to comply with all of the other requirements of the ordinance.
Thank you. Anyone else have any questions or discussion on this? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff,
Yes.
Hund,
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance is April 21st. The next 2 ordinances are bond ordinances. The supplemental debt statement has been submitted to the Department of Community Affairs for the following 2 bond ordinances. The first is 25-11, bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new information technology equipment and a new automobile vehicle, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the Township of Clark in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,050,000 to pay the cost thereof, to to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Great, thank you. Can I get a motion?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Jim, you want to add anything? This is basically taking the capital road improvement, putting it together with the new vehicle and some IT equipment, correct?
Correct. I mean, it's primarily the street repaving. The acquisition of the new automotive vehicle is the new ambulance. So we're looking to purchase the ambulance for our volunteer ambulance squad. And the last one is just to upgrade servers and computers throughout the township. Our current server is at end of life, and we need to upgrade it, to continue with the software, because we're going to the software is no longer going to be available for the age of the server.
Great, thank you. Anyone else have any questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance is April 21st. Next is ordinance 25-12, bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of a new fire truck, including original apparatus and equipment, in by and for the Township of Clark in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $3,340,000 to pay the cost thereof, to appropriate state grants, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Can I get a motion?
I'll move this.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Can I get a second?
I'll
Second it.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Any discussion? Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, this is the second part of the Valley Road. So last year we received a DOT grant, and we bonded for the rest of it for the first section of Valley Road. This year, the second, we did not initiate the paving because we didn't want to shut down Valley Road twice, in 2 consecutive years. So in the spring, we're going to start from one end over by St. John's and take it all the way down to the other side. It's probably going to be, somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 weeks, and it's going to be an extensive project that's going to obviously delay people. But I just want everybody to know that that's why we're doing this. The second item is the ladder truck for the fire department. We did receive the $1.5 million grant from Senate President Scutari. We again thank him for that money, and we're going to end up, somewhere in the neighborhood of $800,000 when all's said and done. Because this includes a lot of additional equipment. We don't know what it's going to be. There's a 3.5-year order time, so we're not going to even see this for another 3+ years. And we'll see what that number ends up being. And last but not least is the Robinson House. We have to replace the roof. It's a historical building. I didn't realize how much goes into an historical building, but between needing a historical architect, engineer, and contractors, the roof replacement's going to be somewhere close to $350,000. We did receive a grant of about $145,950, leaving us with about $200,000. We are still looking for other grants. I wanted to include it this year in our infrastructure grant program. However, we have to spend the infrastructure grant by December 31st, 2025. So this is not going to be done, just given all the work that we needed to do. And so I had a discussion with our engineer. We'll see where we are in 2026 and maybe apply for, some relief from the county infrastructure grant in 2026. So this may or may not be the final number, but for us to move forward, we have to make sure that we have enough money to pay for it between the grant and the bond.
Great, thank you for the explanation. Mayor Albanese?
Yes, I also want to thank Senate President Scutari for the wonderful $1.5 million. And this, altogether, there are grants in each one of these items. Getting a grant for the truck, the road, and also for the roof. And when you aggregate it all, it's 62% of the money. We're getting 62 cents on the dollar that we're investing here, which is phenomenal. So, great job, and yeah, we hope to continue getting more grants like this. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance is April 21st.
We'll move to payment of claims. I know Councilman O'Connor did review all the bills for the month in the amount of $320,577.69. Now we'll move on to citizens' hearing on the agenda. You want me to read this, or you want to read it? I'll read it? Sure. Okay. All right, I'm going to open the meeting to the public. The public comment portion of the meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Code of the Township of Clark. Each person addressing the council shall give their name and the town in which they reside to the clerk. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and shall not exceed 5 minutes in duration. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at his discretion, may choose to respond or not respond. So at this time, I'd like to open up the meeting to the public. If anyone would like to come forward, please do so.
Good evening, Delia Collins Clark. I'm commenting on Resolution 11, supporting the Humane Pet Store Bill. I'm happy to see that's on the docket for this evening, and I hope that it comes to fruition. I have a question on Resolution 12, authorizing the mayor to execute the Fourth Amendment to the agreement between Hyatt Hills Golf Course Commission and the Razor Trust, owner of Hyatt Hills Golf Course. What is this amendment?
You have any other questions? We'll answer it when you're finished.
That's it.
That's it? Okay.
St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, same to you, Delia. Thank you. Do you want to do it now or wait till we?
I could take it now.
Okay,
It's
go ahead,
fairly
Jim.
quick. So the amendment is just to extend the agreement to 2030. We used to have a commission that had representation from Cranford and Clark. Don't hold me to the numbers, I think it was 4 and 3, but there were 7 people. So it's 4 from Clark, 3 from Cranford. The whole project is really run by the golf course. So what they decided, probably mid-2014, 15, in that area, they came up with a change in the agreement to have only the mayor of Clark and the mayor of Cranford on the board, because there was no need for meetings or anything like that, and primarily to maintain the commission of the golf course. So what they ended up doing is it expires every 5 years. We can cancel it at any time, right? So, if we don't want to do it anymore, we could, cancel the agreement, as can they, anytime through 2025. If it's not 2030, if it doesn't expire by if it's not renewed by 2030, it automatically expires. So, that's it. It's nothing crazy.
Great, thank you. Anyone else like to come forward? Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close this portion.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Can I get a second?
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hun. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll move on to resolutions.
First resolution is the council as the Board of Health accepting and approving the 2024 annual health report.
Can I get a motion?
Move that.
Thank you, Councilmember Hun, and thank you, Councilmember Hund. Any discussion? Basic year over year, just approving the annual health report.
Yep. So in your package, it just really goes through the number of inspections, re-inspections, what type of complaints we had, what type of administrative items we have, summons is issued. So it really is just an overall high-level summary of everything that the Health Department did in 2024. It's required by law. Again, there's nothing in here that, seems to jump out. I sit down with the health officer every quarter and just go over the numbers, number of inspections, grease trap inspections, things along those lines. So this is just a summary of all of our meetings.
Great, thank you. Anyone else have any questions or discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 11 is supporting the Humane Pet Store Bill, S-2511A-4051, to prohibit the sale of cats, dogs, or rabbits in pet stores for the protection of animals as well as consumers.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Hoff. Any discussion? All right. Yes, I'm glad Mr. Cohen did bring this to our attention at the workshop meeting, and hopefully the state gets on top of this and passes them. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 12 is authorizing the mayor to execute the Fourth Amendment to the agreement between Hyatt Hills Golf Course Commission and Racer, owner of Hyatt Hills Golf Course.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second?
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman Hun. Any discussion? I know Jim just explained it all. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 13 is ratifying the exigency action taken by the business administrator to remediate a sanitary sewer main break on Prescott Turn in the amount of $7,500.
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Member Toll. Anyone else? Second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilmember Hun. Any discussion?
I mean, it's self-explanatory. I just want to let everybody know that we're still looking into what caused it. One of the things is the resident was doing work on their lateral at the time, and then there was a crack in the sewer line. We had to get it fixed. We had there was a contractor on site working on that line. We just thought it was prudent to just get it fixed at that point and pay for it. So that we did this on an emergent basis.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Consent agenda resolutions. The following items are considered routine and non-controversial items by the Township Council and will be enacted upon by one motion. There will be no separate discussion for these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda to be discussed and voted on, following the approval of the remaining items listed on the consent agenda. First item is appointing Juan Paluzic and Joseph Cancina as members of the Clark Volunteer Fire Department effective March 17, 2025. Next is authorizing the tax collector to apply sewer account balance adjustments as credit in the amount of $29,457.90. Number 16 is authorizing the tax collector to refund overpayment of sewer fees in the amount of $1,400. And 17 is authorizing the tax collector to refund overpayment of taxes in the amount of $2,635.22.
Can I get a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I'll move that, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilmember Toll. Can I get a second?
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilmember Hun. Roll call?
Councilmember Hoff.
Yes.
Hund.
Yes.
Mazzarella.
Yes.
Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes. Any new business on the calendar?
There is no new business.
Great, thank you. All right, now we're going to move to public comments. I'll open the meeting to the public. The public comment portion of the meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments in accordance with NJSA 10:4-12A and the Code of the Township of Clark. Each person addressing the council shall give their name and the town in which they reside to the clerk. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and shall not exceed 5 minutes in duration. At the conclusion of the statements or questions from a member of the public, the council president, at their discretion, may choose to respond or not respond. At this time, if anyone would like to come forward, please do so.
Good evening, John Greaves. I'm from Clark. I guess real quick, there was that issue that you guys mentioned about people reporting things on Facebook instead of calling the police. Was that referencing there was a bomb threat at the high school? Is that what that was referencing?
No.
Oh, okay, all right. What was it referencing?
Oh, there was some vandalism, some
Oh.
graffiti painted.
Yeah, I think I did see that. I agree with you guys that I definitely should call the police instead of putting it on Facebook. I did see that. The other question I had was, I heard that the parking lot at Bartell Park, the construction on that's not going to happen. Is that correct?
Correct.
I heard someone say that was because the residents had said that they didn't want that. Is that the case as well?
Yes, the residents came to a meeting, they came to us with a letter, and they did not want a parking lot across the street from their houses, so we decided to take it off the program. Correct, Jim?
Okay, just another question related to that is, so that was the fund for that was from bonds from last year. What happens with that money for that particular?
As we discussed at the meeting, when we added a street. I don't remember which street we added to paving.
Okay, so you just moved it to a different street that you're paving?
Yes, so that's why if you read the bond ordinance, it indicates that we can, if the bids come in less or there's money left over, we could actually go to other roads that are on the list of streets to be paved.
Okay. So regarding last month, I had mentioned stuff about pilot, and the Mayor Albanese had said that, maybe there were some suggestions that people might have. I just had a few things that I wanted to say about pilots. I have some things about them that I'm worried about. So my main suggestions when it comes to pilots is, in general, don't really give pilots to residential properties because it adds students to the school, but it doesn't add additional funding to the school budget to offset the cost that those students bring. I think that's probably one of the biggest issues. I know that you guys have an ordinance that you had enacted a few years back that after a pilot was initiated, like on the Walnut Hill Apartments, that the money that they would have received is given by the town to the school budget. But the issue that I have with that is that it's based on the amount that was given before the development. So like Walnut Hill, I think the school was getting about $50,000 a year before it was developed, and now it's, if they had been a normal tax structure, it'd be over $500,000 they'd be getting. So they're getting $50,000 instead of the $500,000. I recognize it's hard to find that money, but at the very least, that ordinance, I believe, is specific to Walnut Hill. At the very least, I would say extend it to all pilots. And then the other thing is that in a pilot, the town actually gets more money than they would under a normal tax structure. So I was basically thinking maybe we could figure out how much they would have gotten under the normal tax structure, and whatever excess that could go to the school, or at least a portion of the excess. And maybe that doesn't have to be all of the excess, but it could be tied to the number of students that are going to the schools from these different properties. And then, lastly, I would just say, the negotiations for the pilots, I would just like to see you guys be a little tougher. So like for CubeSmart, I believe it's a 30-year tax exemption, and they pay 10% of their revenue. And I believe, from what I've read, that 30 years is the legal limit. It's illegal to give them a higher amount of time, and 10% of the revenue is the legal minimum that they can give. So it's literally illegal to give them better terms than that. And I'd like to have better terms for the town in that sense. I do know that there are escalations over the years, and it's not exactly that the entire time, but it just seems to me that the overall benefit to the town doesn't always even out, and it especially affects our schools, and the shortfall that the schools don't get, the average taxpayer has to shoulder on their own. And So those are the general suggestions. I appreciate your time, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Greaves.
Hi, Larry Cohen from Fanwood, New Jersey. I just want to thank you very much for your compassion for animals and your obvious understanding of this issue and support for it. That makes it a unanimous 10 out of 10 towns in District 22 supporting this now, and I really hope that makes a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I didn't know I was speaking for Mr. Cohen. He was right here, right?
Hi, happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. Mary Semler, 56 Conger Way. And I was just wondering if someone could provide an update to the citizens about, we talked probably about 6 months ago about the solar projects that were supposed to be installed on municipal properties and where we are with approving and getting that project started. So there's some people, I know we've been doing a lot of things, a lot of salespeople here in the town talking about installing solar, so I wanted to just get a follow-up about our municipal buildings. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, seeing no one else coming forward, like a motion to close this portion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Hunn, and that Councilman Toll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Jim, do you have any update on the solar?
Yeah, we're still working with the roofing vendor, so we're going back and forth on what needs to be done, what needs to be supported. You know, it's like anything else. You know, we did some work in the bathrooms, and we had a slight setback from, you know, walls just weren't secured as we thought they were behind it. Similar to this, we have to look into the roof. So we had last week, I believe, he was up there again, just trying to get us the numbers. So they don't want to put solar panels on a roof that's going to have to be changed in 5 years, right? So we're still working with it. You know, these things take a little bit of time.
Great, thank you. On the pilots, I'll try to address it again, Mr. Greaves. The zoning board zones properties in this town for certain buildings. The property across from the Holiday Inn was zoned for residential commercial, correct, Jim? A developer came to us, offered to build a development on there, and first word that's out of his mouth was, I'll do it if you do a pilot agreement with us. If we said no, that property would still be sitting vacant. When we ran the numbers at the beginning of the year, the enrollment was down 34 students total in the district. I'm not sure exactly where it is now, and I'll get updated numbers for the next meeting. The Board of Ed has never come to us and asked for more money. We opened up that conversation with them many years ago, and we went into pilot saying, if you need more money, come speak to us, and we will address it. But to our knowledge, they have not come to us. So our thought process was to give them the amount of money they would have gotten on that property to keep them whole, and for the town to help recoup some money, or well, some of the money or a little bit of the money on all the tax appeals that are going to happen and that have happened and will continue to happen. Of course, on tax appeals, the township is 100% liable to pay for that. But we collect taxes, again, 55% or so for the schools, 5% for the town, and 20-something% for the municipality. So it's not fair that the Township of Clark has to foot the whole bill on tax appeals. Mayor, go ahead.
So after all the discussions we've had after the various meetings, I did get in touch with the superintendent. I sent him an email and also spoke with him. And this is not affecting their budget. Now, when I say that, I mean they're getting the cash that they need to run the schools, okay? Everything that they need goes into their budget and then is passed on as taxes. So I know that Mr. Greaves will say, well, then you're splitting the pie up differently amongst people. Yes, that's true, but when I look at the council and myself, not many of us have children in school. So it's a fact of life that others, I had my day when my kids went to school and the others were supporting them. And it's just a cycle that goes on. You know, when your kids get bigger, they're not in the schools anymore. So you're paying, do you say, oh, well, I'm paying more taxes? That's how it works. You own a home, you pay the taxes. The bottom line of it is to address the concerns of citizens about whether the schools are getting less money. They are getting what they need because they will come up with an amount of money they need, and that goes into the taxes that are billed. The point that the president was making is when there is an appeal, we don't go back and ask the school for money. We don't go back and ask the county for money. The town pays that. So they must keep extra money in reserves for those situations. So there's a lot of different dynamics that occur. Now, one of the pilots that was built was a commercial pilot, and that's what was suggested, don't have residential. But don't forget, looming over us, and I didn't address it or speak about it again tonight, the state came out with the 4th round of housing long before everyone completed their 3rd round. And right now, there's 159 towns out of 564 that are protesting because there's areas that were cited for building where they can't build. So I don't want to go down that. But the bottom line of it is we need to build the housing. We need to sort out by June 30th what our plan is. And every February 15th going forward, we have to figure out a plan so that we can explain how we are going to fulfill our commitment of affordable housing. So, and plus, I think we want to be a residential community. We are a residential community. We don't have a lot of commercial things going on. This is a suburban town. We want to keep it suburban. At least that would be my goal. Now, to put the matter, to add on to that, we're probably the only town in the state, I believe, that is giving pilot money back. And it was almost a struggle to be able to do that. So I think we're attacking this in different ways. And the bottom line thing that I want citizens to remember is the schools are getting the money they need to run their operation. And that's the most critical thing. Secondary, we have blighted properties in the town. And we want to work with developers, and we want developers interested in coming here and working with them to take care of those issues, which is some of the people in this room come up and they ask what's happening with this blighted property, what's happening with the old A&P, et cetera. So we are trying to address that, and those are the goals that we're trying to achieve.
Right. To clarify one of the comments you just made, so to clarify to the public, we believe if we're not, we're one of the only town in the state of New Jersey who's actually given money back from the pilot to the schools. Every other town who collects a pilot is keeping the money. So we did not have to give the schools anything, but we wanted to do what was right for the town.
Well, that's not to say, I mean, there are towns, for example, Woodbridge, they do a lot for their schools, just as we have done here during all the administrations I've been here. We built the parking in front of the school, in front of the high school. That was paid by the taxpayers. The first turf field, paid by the taxpayers. For safety reasons, we built the drive around at Valley Road. We built the bump outs at the schools so that kids could get dropped off safely at the schools. So those were all paid by the taxpayers for the safety of the children because we work together. We have a lot of shared services with the schools to save money and to perform better services. So this is just an ongoing thing we've been doing for years now here. And I'm sure I left out a lot of the projects. Well, I guess we built the skate rink. We moved that from Kumpf over to Henley.
Great, thank you.
That's it.
All right, I think we spoke enough about that. At this time, we'll move to professional comments. Mayor Albanese, do you have anything to add?
Just to remind residents that we have our resident guide, and I just ask that people sign up for the newsletter. There's a lot of new things that come out each week, and you can just see what's coming up. One thing that I saw that was of interest to me is, and maybe, you know, you look in your garage, you want to clean it out, it's time for spring, and you have all these old chemicals, cans of different paints and things that have a little bit in it, and there is going to be a recycling drive. It's over in Scotch Plains at the end of April. I think it's April 29th. So if you have things of that nature, you cannot recycle them with our bulky pickup. It's dangerous to put them in garbage cans because of the machines that are used. So that would be a safe way of disposing of those items. That's it.
Thank you. Councilmember Hoff, you have anything to add?
I do. I just want to say congratulations to our CPD promotions for Sergeant Medeiros and Detective Sergeant Chichero tonight. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but...
Accio.
Sorry. I want to say thank you, congratulations, and stay safe, and to continue congratulations and thanks and stay safe to our newest Clark Fire Department volunteers. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hun.
Councilmember Hoff took exactly what I was going to say, so my portion will be very short. So congratulations to all of them, and the main portion, stay safe. Thank you to our police department, as usual, for the wonderful job that they do every month at keeping the town safe. We were discussing earlier tonight how when most of the council members are driving around town, we're passing a police car, seeing the activity that they're out and about all around town. So again, thank you for that, and continued support from our end to everything that you need. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Mazzarella.
Yes, thank you, Council President. First, to repeat what Councilwoman Huff had said, congratulations to two police officers for their promotions, and to dovetail on what Mayor Albanese had said earlier as far as to the residents, try to refrain first using social media. If you suspect something or see something that you're uncomfortable about, call police. Call our police department first. You could certainly use social media as much as you want, but the fact is, if you want a quick response, rather than using social media and talking about it, call our police department. They're going to respond quickly. They're not going to get upset with anyone. They're going to come out and ensure your safety. So please remember that. And again, as I've said in the past, remember to lock all your vehicle and your homes when you're home or going out and all of that. We don't want to have anybody enter into your home, and that's a good deterrent if you lock your vehicles and your home doors. So until next month, be safe, well, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Toll.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm just going to do a couple things. Before the meeting, we got a tour of this building. We saw it when it was under construction, when it was all just metal beams and things. To the captains, thank you for that. That gave us a new insight of what the officers are seeing every day by coming into work. To Detective Sergeant Michael and Andrew, good health to you on your tour of duty, and to your families, that you go home every night safe to them, because that's what it's all about. And we appreciate you putting your time and your efforts into making us safe. This whole township is based on one thing: a strong police department. And those men right sitting in the second row behind Councilman Albar are symbols of our leadership of our department, and we thank them for everything they do. So, with that said, every month I usually give a report of who's passed away in this township, because it's important to recognize those special people who touched our lives. And tonight I have somebody very special. His name was Dr. Barry Orange. He was 84 years old. He had his business, his Lexington Animal Veterinarian shop, right next to the Clark Post Office. Now, you probably never heard of him, never knew anything about him unless you had a dog or a cat or any other type of animal. This is a gentleman who came to work and gave his life to the four-legged fur dogs and creatures of our town. If you ever had a dog and your child had that dog or that cat, and it was very special to him and it got sick, there was only one place to go. It was Dr. Orange's Lexington Village Animal Hospital. I got to know Dr. Orange through Nancy and Bruce Larimore, who run Noah's Ark Animal Rescue in Clark, because Dr. Orange went and volunteered his time to help them with dogs or cats that were caught or strayed, orphaned, who were injured in the roadways of Clark. The Clark police would pick them up and bring them over to Nancy and Bruce over on Lake Avenue, and they run Noah's Ark Animal Rescue, and they help those animals that need that extra assistance. And it was once there was an animal brought in whatever time of the night, Dr. Orange would go out of his warm bed and go over to visit Nancy and Bruce, or go to Clark PD and help get that animal that needed a doctor's care instead of being sent out. And I know our Delia Collins is in the audience, and she can talk more about Dr. Orange because she worked with him. There are a lot of people in this township, but Dr. Orange was not just a person, he was a saint who was brought to this planet to do great things. And we will never forget his sacrifice and his dedication to the four-legged fur dogs, I call them. We also lost in township Scott Carl Winter, an ALJ class of 76 alumni, and he was a Clark American Legion Post member. He was the dear brother of Jay Bird Winter and Nancy. I've known these people from town for almost 50 years. But Scott was Jay's younger brother, and he was somebody from the township who touched other people's lives and gave of himself, service as well as being a member of the Post 328. Our condolences to the Winter family on the loss. We will always be here for you. Frank Mazzarella says it best. We're here to serve you. We're here to help you make a better Clark. And that's all I got tonight. I've talked way too much. I'll get into saints and other people another time. But thank you. If you have a problem, you have a need, that's what we're here for. Give us a call. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do you have anything to add?
No, thank you.
Business Administrator Ulrich, anything?
Yeah, I got two things. First is Altice is going to the BPU on March 19th. That's Optimum. So if everything gets approved at the BPU, they would targeting sometime around second quarter to third quarter of 2025 to start rolling out services to the township. So just giving everybody an update on that. I gave everybody an update at the executive meeting, but I'm sure the citizens would like to know that. On the pilot, a couple of things I just also wanted to bring up. One of the key things, as Mayor Albanese brought up, is the affordable housing requirements also. And, just as some examples, some towns, Milburn had a $115,000 fine for not complying with affordable housing. Englewood Cliffs is one that gives between the settlements and settlements and legal bills, it was over $1 million. Wayne also paid a penalty of $141,000 because they weren't complying with the affordable housing. So this is one of the ways that we can apply for affordable housing. The other thing is the Cube Smart. While you're right that there is a 10%, what was failed to discuss was it escalates across the term of the 30 years. So the first 5 years, it's 10%. Second 5 years, it's 10.5%. Third 5, so that's 11 to 15, it's 11%. 16 to 20, it's 11.5. 21 through 25, it is 12%, and then it goes to 12.5%. So while yes, it's correct for the first 5 years, it actually does escalate throughout. In addition, there is, over the time period, that they either will pay that amount or a percentage of the total tax that's associated with the building, and that also escalates throughout. So there is a potential that they would be paying more than that, depending on what the number is. So I just wanted to make sure that we're clear on that it's not 10% for 30 years, because that's not the truth.
Right, thank you. Counselor, you have anything? No, I do not, thank you. All right. The only thing I have in closing is I misspoke earlier. The Clark Little League and Clark Softball Parade is April 26th, not April 6th. Again, April 26th at 9 a.m. is the parade, and that's all I have this evening. So I'd like a motion to adjourn. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second?
Second that.
Thank you, Councilmember Hun. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, see you next month. Thank you.